Well, thanks for tuning in into our summer edition as we go in deep into the summer. It is July, or actually, depending on when you watch this, it's either just getting into July or it's right before July or we ended July. Oh boy, I love the summertime. It's nice weather. Depending on where I am in the country, I always enjoy it. Sometimes it's too hot. Sometimes it's just right, or sometimes a little breezy, but that's okay. I'll take it. I'll take it whatever it is. We got a great fall coming up. We got some old shows that we've worked on that's coming back. We got Man with a Show. We got Saturday Pre-Flight coming back. We got all that news is coming soon. So these are some of the things that we're going to be getting through. Get us through the summer. Summer short, summer long. So let's get on with this.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it!
And the one thing we want to discuss is, we've been covering a lot of the adult industry, the porn industry, because I know a lot of you viewers are basically like to hear these stories because, these are things that, is part of some of our lives. Some of us do enjoy the adult media. Some of us enjoy anime, some of us enjoy hentai. It varies. But there are a lot of dark parts of it. We discussed some illnesses, some deaths. We had some updates on there. Mercedes Carrera's trial has been put on hold again. If you're not familiar with that, catch the video on that. It's a very creepy trial that's happening because basically it's dealing with child abuse situations, and we haven't seen the evidence. Like I say, facts and evidence. That's very first. Got to go through trial. Innocent until proven guilty. That's what it is in this country. Some people in their mind wants to throw everyone under the truck. We've seen this before. The Johnny Depp, Vic Mignogna, many others. That have been run through the ringer, and basically, some of them are getting their day in court, and some of them are winning it, and some of them are losing it. Now, another trial that is actually, it hasn't really started yet. It was supposed to have started. Unfortunately, there have been delays as well. If you're familiar with the actually, he's a major veteran in the adult industry. Ron Jeremy. I mean, Ron's been around since I was a kid. Actually, I met him, years ago in the 80s. The studio that I worked in with the public access shows that I worked on, they did adult-oriented shows like the Robin Bird Show and Midnight Interlude and a couple others, and Ron was down on there. Didn't really get to talk with him, but he seemed to be a nice guy, but you never know with the situation. But that was in the 80s. Right now, Ron is in trouble right now. He's getting Me Too'd. There are multiple, and we're talking multiple accusations going baI years on there. And it seems like, why is it all coming out now? To that situation, and I always ask that, and people say, well, it's because of the Me Too movement. No, I've seen people, that have been attacked, that have been draped and stuff like that. I understand some people are afraid of that, but that many people under one guy, it's kind of, I got to question a lot of it. But like I said, facts and evidence, innocent until proven guilty. We need to see the evidence. We need to go through the whole entire trial. But there is a delay, and it was because Ron wasn't being Ron, according to his lawyer, and the court ordered a psych hearing. And unfortunately now the psych hearing has been postponed. So I'm going to read this off of XBiz. Ron Jeremy's psych hearing now postponed to late July. The trial of Ron Jeremy has been postponed once again after the latest hearing at the mental health courthouse earlier this week, resulting in a continuation until July 27th. Jeremy's attorney Stuart Goldfarb, who participated in the postponement hearing on Tuesday, informed XBiz of the new day. The criminal case has been at a standstill since the presiding judge, George Lomel's March 17th decision to suspend the proceedings after he received reports from Goldfarb and the bailiff that the defendant was incoherent and could not be transported to court. As XBiz reported, Judge Lomel then referred the case to Mental Health Courthouse for a decision on Jeremy's ability to stand trial. The judge recommended that the psychiatrists on each side conduct evaluations to determine competency. Jeremy is awaiting a trial in Los Angeles, where he has remained in jail following his arrest in June of 2020. After a August 2021 grand jury indictment was returned, Jeremy pled not guilty to 12 counts of forcible drape, 7 counts of forcible oral copulation, 6 counts of sexual battery by restraint, 4 counts of sexual penetration by a foreign object, 2 counts of sexual penetration of an unconscious or asleep person, and 1 count each of a lewd act upon a child under the age of 14 or 15, sodomy by use of force, and assault with an intended to commit drape. Last year, XBiz published an exclusive detailed account of the 21 accusations that formed the Los Angeles County's District Attorney's case against Jeremy. It remains only comprehensive journalistic account of the testimonies given before a grand jury in 2021. And it's, like I said, facts and evidence to the situation. I mean, you're hearing the counts. That's a shitload of counts there, Ron. If this is all true, oh my God, this guy is a sick perv. I mean, yeah, and he deserves to go to jail for however long. But if it's not true, this should be investigated further. And why? Who are these people? Why did they come forward? Understand, they say, we need to hear the persons, we need to hear them in the trial. And I understand that. And that is an understandable nature. But as we heard in the Johnny Depp trial and a couple of other trials throughout the history, and I'm not talking within the last 10 years, we're talking going all the way back to the 80s. I mean, we have heard many cases where drape has been on a sexual assault and on that. And then it turns out to be that it was fabricated. It was never to the situation. And a lot of these were high-profile cases that turned into basically major protests, aggravation for a lot of people in certain colleges, students that were ejected for stuff that they didn't even do, that basically when the trial was over, basically there was no apology from the universities. I could go back, oh God, you could look at everything from Tawana Brawley, the Duke Lacrosse, then there was another college, I forgot what the name of that, basically 2 men were accused, and the woman did it as a spite just to get the, I guess she was trying to attract another male that she wanted, but she used these 2 guys unknowingly, so that basically that the guy would basically pay attention to her, to the situation. She's out of jail already, but she's serving time for what she did. So you got to let these trials go through. Now, is Ron faking this? I don't know. I don't know the situation. A bailiff is saying that, yeah, he's being a little incoherent concerning, he is 68 years old. Now, in a lot of meetings, that doesn't mean that, he's lost his mind. But then again, depending, some people at that age group can, end up to be with situations where they become, they would get like Alzheimer's or, many different ailments people go through when they reach that age. But more and more people, throughout the years, and you hear on there when they reach into their 60s are not getting to that level until higher. I mean, I don't have the stats for it, but I hear more people in their 70s and 80s end up to be that way, not more toward their 60s. So, you know, is Ron sick? It's a possibility. Is he faking it? It could be a possibility. You don't know. Facts and evidence to the whole situation. And this is what, you know, we have to sit there, and this is what a lot of people don't want you to discuss about. They don't want to be discussing, you know, that, you know, to see the facts and the evidence. This is the whole major situation with who's trying to take down Tug, you know, that umbrella guy, and Rekieta Law and all the other internet lawyers, because they discussed the trial. They discussed the facts and evidence that was put forward. And every day we're hearing a new piece of evidence come forward that proves it even further. And you're seeing that it may go into appeal if is able to raise over $10 million. I mean, the one major thing, and I'm sorry that this trial is in LA, is that a lot of these trials need to be broadcast so the people could see what is going on, so they could see the evidence. Mostly what people throw on with the mainstream media, what you hear from the mainstream media, what you hear from people on Twitter and Reddit and Facebook and and TikTok, it's things that, you know, we don't see out front. We're just getting a small detail. So this is what happened with the Vic Mignogna case. We're only getting a small detail to the situation. You have people making an accusations to one person where people have come forward and says, no, that never happened. But we don't hear that. It has to go to a court case. And, you know, if it wasn't for Rekieta covering this, and so was Tug and a couple of, and Yellow Flash, you know, you wouldn't hear situations like this. You would hear them just on the front page of the paper, they're going to jail for this. But, you know, or they got acquitted. Why did they get acquitted? And people get mad. You know, we need to hear these situations. Now, there's certain things, certain cases, maybe they shouldn't be shown, you know, to the situation. But I think cases like this, where people are accused of rape or assault or something like that, should be shown, you know, because basically a lot of these people who turned out to be innocent end up to be guilty for the rest of their life. People tend to look at them in strange ways on there. I mean, if you ever saw the end of Reversal of Fortune about Klaus von Bülow, there's a great scene at the end of it where von Bülow comes into a pharmacy and asks for a pack of cigarettes, and the lady sees the newspaper with his face on the front page on there, and then looks at him, and she's howling a moment, and he makes a joke and he says, could I also get a bottle of insulin as well? And then she starts to cringe a bit, and she goes, I'm just joking. Now, whether Bülow was guilty or innocent, you know, what he went through was illegal. This is people with money, and basically they hired their own prosecutor, they hired their own police force and detectives and all that, and gathered all their evidence to give it to the district attorney. And it's a funny situation when you hear that. Funny and sad, because there's a great line in that movie. The Dershowitz character says, you know, today it's von Bülow. Tomorrow it could be some guy who doesn't have the money like von Bülow, the grocery store clerk, and, you know, he ends up to be buried and end up in jail. You know, these are the situations we go through. You know, and that's why I said some of these cases should be shown in the light of day. And, you know, so the American public can see what is going on. So we'll see what happens at the end of the month. Subscribe, like, share. I hope you guys enjoy your summer. We have a lot of videos coming through on there. and stay with us. You know, like I said, our fall season's coming, but you know, we'll still be here on there. So have a good one, and bye bye now.